Good morning. You know, I have the privilege of having all three of my grown children here this morning. Mikey normally works on Sundays, took off this morning at 9:30, now he has to go back, but he's here. Sally and Laura, my two daughters, have driven down from Tulsa. Means a lot to me, guys. Thanks. Scripture this morning comes from Psalm 139, verses 13 to 16. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. It's amazing to think about. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. You were there while I was being formed in utter seclusion. You saw me before I was born and scheduled each day of my life before I began to breathe. Every day was recorded in your book. The Word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
I want everyone here to know one thing. You are important. There's only one you. Think about that. Your face and features, your voice, your style, your background, your characteristics and peculiarities, your abilities, your smile, your walk, your handshake, your manner of expression, your viewpoint. Everything about you can only be found in one human being since man first began. You. How does that make you feel? Frankly, I'm elated. Dig as deep as you please in the ancient dusty archives of Homo sapiens, and you'll not find another you in the whole lot. That did not just happen. It was planned that way. Why? Because God wanted you to be you. That's why. He designed you to be a unique, distinct individual, unlike any other person on the entire earth throughout the vast expanse of time. And in your case, as in the case of every other human being, the mold was broken, never to be used again, the moment you came into this world. You know, let's listen again to what David said on Psalm 139. You made all the delicate parts of my inner body and knitted together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. It's amazing to think about. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. You were there while I was being formed in utter seclusion. You saw me before I was born and scheduled each day of my life before I began to breathe. Every day was recorded in your book. Now, if I read this astonishing statement correctly, you are prescribed and presented this world exactly as God arranged it. And reflect on that truth life, sometimes discourage friends. And don't miss the comment that God is personally involved in the very days and details of your life. Great thought, as long as you let God truly come into your life. In our overpopulated identity crisis world, it's easy to forget this. Individuality is played down. We're asked to conform to the system. Group opinion is considered superior to personal conviction. They tend to encourage us to blend in with the masses. They say it's okay to do your own thing, just as long as it's similar to others when they do their thing. Now that's hogwash, man. This results in what I call an image syndrome, especially among members of God's family called Christians. They dare not drift too far from the expected image established way back when. And yet, nobody can say exactly when that was. Their fellowship must be warm, but it's filled with cliches. Their love must be expressed, but not without its cruel boundaries. The creative, free, and sometimes completely different approach so threatens the image keepers of the image syndrome that one wonders how they retain any breath of fresh air through the window of flexibility and spontaneity. Let me call a fig picker from Tekola, a rough, raw-boned shepherd who was about as subtle as a Mack truck on Interstate 35. Man. He was tactless, unsophisticated, loud, and uneducated. His name was Amos. Well, that was no problem. He was a preacher. Now that was a problem. He didn't fit the preacher image, but he refused to let that bother him. He was called of all things to bring the morning message in the King's sanctuary, and bring it he did. His word penetrated those vaulted ceilings and icy pews like a flaming arrow. In his own way, believing firmly in his message, he pounced upon sin like a hen on a June bug. And the image keepers of Israel told him to be silent. To peddle his doctrine of doom in the backwoods of Judah, his rugged style didn't fit in with the plush royal residence at Bethel. Aware of their attempt to straitjacket his methods and to restructure his message, Amos simply replied, I was neither a prophet nor a prophet's son, but I was a shepherd, and I also took care of the sycamore fig trees. But the Lord took me from tending the flock and said to me, go, prophesy to my people, Israel. Amos was not about to be something he wasn't. God made him, God called him, and God gave him a message to be communicated in his own unique way. At that old high school dropout, he knew he had no business trying to sound and look like a Harvard graduate. Now, what do I say to any Amos? You don't fit the mold? Is that what sends you down in the valley of despair? Don't sweat it, my friends, and don't you dare change, because you wouldn't be you. What the world needs is a lot more fig pickers who have the courage to simply be themselves, regardless. Whoever is responsible for standardizing the ranks of the masses ought to be shot at dawn. In so doing, they completely ignore the value of variety, which God planned for his world when he arranged the parts of the body, every one of them, just as he wanted to be. Tucked away in a quiet corner of Scripture is a verse that brims with emotion. Listen to these ancient words from the pen of Job. Job 24:12. From the city men groan, and the souls of the wounded cry out. Now, slip into that scene, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, any big city today. You see the speed, movement, noise, rows of buildings, acres of apartments, miles of houses, restaurants, stores, cars, bicycles, kids. Now, all that's obvious. Any city dweller could describe that scene. But there's more. Beneath and behind the loud splash of human activity are invisible aches. Job calls them groans. In Hebrew, the word suggests that groans comes from one who has been wounded. Perhaps that's why Job added the next line, the souls of the wounded cry out. In that line, wounded comes from a term that means pierced, as if stabbed. Not a physical stabbing, for it is the soul that is crying out. There are those who suffer from blows of soul stabbing, wounds which can be far more painful and devastating than body stabbing. Job has reference to deep lacerations of the heart, invisible, internal injuries that no surgeon in the world could detect. The city is full of such hurts. It's a desolate, disturbing scene, but painfully true. Wounded, broken, bruised, many a person cries out with groans from their innermost being. Perhaps that describes you today. You may be groaning because you've been misunderstood or treated unfairly. The injury is deep because the blows have been landed from someone you've trusted and respected. Someone you're vulnerable to. Maybe someone you love. It's possible that your pain was inflicted by the stabbing of someone's tongue. An individual who said things that were simply untrue. Perhaps the comment was made only in passing, but it cut to the quick. It pierced you deeply. The person who made these remarks will never know, but you will, as you endure. Keep quiet and bleed. Quite probably others of you are living with scars brought on by sins or failures. Although you have confessed and forsaken those bitty, ugly, bitter days, you can't seem to erase the backwash. Sometimes when you're all alone, the past slips up from behind like a precaution wave and overwhelms you. The scars are jabbed loosed. The one stays inflamed and tender. And you wonder if you'll ever go away. Although it's unknown to others, you have the fear of being found out and rejected. Tucked away in a quiet corner of every life are wounds and scars. If they were not there, we would not need God, the great physician, nor would we need one another. I don't know how many of you saw the movie The Greatest Showman, but there's a song in there. Excuse me. There's a song in there that I'd like to share with you this morning. John, I'm not going to sing it.
Thank you.
I am going to read you the lyrics. The song is titled This Is Me, from the movie The Greatest Showman. Listen to these words. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, because we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm going to send a flood. I'm going to drown them out. I am brave. I am bruised. I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, because here I come and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hit my skin. Well, fire away, because today I will let the shame sink in. We're bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are warriors, yea, that's what we've become. Or let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, they're going to send a flood, going to drown them out. I am brave. I am bruised. I am whom I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, because here I come. I march in on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. And I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm going to send a flood. I'm going to drown them out. This is brave. This is bruised. This is whom I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, because here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. You are you. There's only one you. You are a child of God, and you are important. Want to start feeling better? With God by your side, I can sum this all up in just 3 words. Just simply say, this is me. Amen.